This is level N list 8 and we're doing the day 1 page, and we've got the double O making the oo sound in booth, proof, choose, rooster and kangaroo. And then down the bottom we've got the EY making the E sound at the end of a word. Now this isn't very common. There's only about 10-15 words that end in EY. So if you're not sure if it's Y or EY, go for the Y, because there are thousands of words that simply end in a Y. There's very few, and they're not all that common, the words that do have EY on the end of them. So choose another colour, and we're going to go back and highlight some of the other things we can see happening in these words. So we've got the TH making the sound on the end of booth. Choose, we often use SE at the end of a word for the Z sound. Rooster, we've got the at the end, ER, making that sound, or schwat sound would be rooster. Kangaroo, now because this is not an English word, we've got the K being used before an A, which is quite unusual. Usually we would use a C before an A for the K sound, but here we're using a K. It's not an English word. It's an Australian word. Kang-ar, you've got the AR sound in there too. Hockey, you've got a short vowel sound, so we're putting CK after the short vowel. Here, medley, you can split that word into 2 parts. Short vowel sound, close the syllable with consonant. Long vowel sound, leave it open. Volley, you've got a short vowel sound once again, so you've got the double L. Parsley, you've got a long R sound there in the AR. Story, you've got the OR sound, OR. Let's have a look at what these words mean now. So a booth is like a small covered area, so, like a small stall or a phone booth, which you don't see many of them around anymore. Proof is the evidence of something that has happened. Choose, where you have to select something. A rooster, if you had fowls at home, the female would be called a hen, the male a rooster, and the baby's a chick. Kangaroo is an animal that is commonly seen in Australia. It's a mammal. Marsupial. A hockey is a game that you play with a stick and a ball. Medley is a variety of things, so if you do a medley relay or race in swimming, you do one of each stroke. A volley is where you hit the ball before it bounces. Parsley is a type of herb that we add to our food when we're cooking. And a story, this story with the EY, is a level in a building. So let's go through and read the words, sound the words and spell them and write them. So we're going to print the first 2 and write the last. So booth, 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 B-O-O-T-H, 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 B-O-O-T-H. Okay, so we're going to print for the first 2. Remember, if you make a mistake, you must go back and correct it. Then if you want to, you could write the whole lot, but I'm only going to write the last one in case you're not allowed to do it. So you do your B, smile to the O, wave crashing, come back around. Do the other O, wave crashing, come back around, up to the T, up to the H. When you finish the word, you can go back and cross the T. You can do a loop on that B too if you want to. This is level N, list 8, and we're doing the day 2 page, and here we've got the double O making the long oo sound in booth, proof, choose, rooster, kangaroo. And in hockey, medley, volley, parsley and story, we've got the EY making the long E sound at the end of these words. Now remember, there aren't a lot of English words that end in EY, so if you're not sure, just put a Y. And try to remember that these are part of the small group of words that actually do end in EY. So there are only about, at most, about 20 of them. Some of them you wouldn't commonly use. So try to remember these 20 EY words. We've only got 5 here. We've done some others in some other lists. And then you know all the other thousands of words that end in an E sound, it's just a Y. So that's the most efficient way to learn that, that ruling. Okay, booth, you've got the TH at the end. Proof, be careful, the are quite different sounds. Choose, you've got the CH here for the ch sound, choose. When we see SE at the end of a word, we quite often know that it's making a Z sound, choose. They don't often use a Z for the Z sound. Commonly we use SE for the Z sound at the end of a word. Rooster, if we say it correctly, you can hear the If you don't, if you say rooster, you've got to know that that short sound is represented by ER at the end of that word. In kangaroo, we know that normally the English rule is that the letter after the K sound tells us whether to use a C or a K. We know in kangaroo we should use the C before the A, not the K, but this is taken from an Aboriginal language, and so that we know that we have to use the K there. Hockey, we've got the short vowel sound and the CK. Medley, you could be splitting these multisyllabic words if you want to. Volley, the O is a short sound, so we've got that double L. Parsley, we've got a long R sound there. And story, we've got the OR in there. Now just be careful, this story here means a different level in a house. I actually better highlight that K there for you so remember it. Okay, let's read the words, sound the words, spell them and write them. So we've got booth, booth, B-O-O-T-H. Then we cover it and write it. And you can finish the rest of those. Read them, sound them, spell them, write them. Complete the crossword using the list words. The synonym for evidence would be proof. It's 3 and it's going across. So you write one letter in each box. You can finish the rest of that crossword on your own or work it through as a group if you're finding it tricky. Write the correct word. We've got story and story, as I just said. This first story means the level. In a building, this story means like a tale that someone might tell you or you might read. Here we've got ch-oos, so we've got the long oos sound here, whereas in this one we've got ch-o's, where the E is make its long sound O. And the SE at the end, chose, choose, you're getting that Z sound on both of them. So Grandpa told me a wonderful something about growing up in the last century, so you can work out what that word might be and read and finish off those sentences. Now I'm not sure if you've heard of adult progeny anymore, but adult are the parents of an animal and the progeny are their young. So we've got two animal families here. We've got kangaroos and we've got fowls. So we're talking about domestic fowls here, fowls or birds that you might keep at home. So for kangaroo you have to work out the animal is kangaroo, what the male is called, what the female is called and what the young is called. And we've given you all the words to choose from down the bottom. This is level N list 8 and we're looking at the day 3 page and we've got the oo as in zoo and the EY for the long E sound in key. So we've got booth, proof, choose, rooster, kangaroo. Then we've got hockey, medley, volley, parsley, story. Now I've told you many times that there's not a lot of English words that end in EY. There'd be less than 20. There's 10 commonly that we would use, so we're making sure we do the most common ones in the list for you. But it's important that you are aware of the 20 words that would end in EY. So we've got hockey, medley, valley, parsley, story as another 5 for you to remember. They're not words that you're probably going to use a lot, but you do need to know that they are EY. All the other words, when you hear an E sound on the end, most of them are going to be just a Y. There are a few words that have double E, toffee, coffee, committee, tree, sea, where we use double E for the long E sound at the end of a word, but really the letter Y is the most common way of writing that long vowel sound E at the end of a word. Okay, so we've got, apart from that EY down the bottom, let's go back to the top and look at the other things that we can hear in these words. Booth, you've got the TH making the th sound, so you can colour that. Choose, you've got the CH making the ch sound, and SE at the end we know often makes the S say its Z sound, choose. Rooster, we can give it a schwat sound, but we know we must write ER, so it should be rooster. We commonly say rooster. Kangaroo is Indigenous Aboriginal word so the K is not commonly used before an A. We usually use a C before an A, so you just have to remember in this word we're using the K. We've got the R, A-R in there too, and just using a different colour, let's make that NG. It's quite a nasally sound there. NG is making that sound. Hockey, we've got a short vowel sound here, so we use CK after a short vowel sound. Medley, nothing tricky. Volley, short sound, double L. Parsley, we've got a long vowel sound, R. Any vowel with an R makes an R-controlled vowel, and they always make a long sound. Story, you've got another R-controlled vowel, OR. So once again, we know that's a long vowel sound. Now, what you have to do now is going to do our read it, sound it, spell it, write it. So we've got booth, booth, B-O-O-T-H. And the reason we go through this process is because whenever you need to spell a word that's tricky in your writing, you're going to say the word, listen for the sounds in the word, and then search in your brain for the letters that make the sound in that particular word that you're writing. So it's an important process to go through and to get used to, to get quite automatic with. Fill in the gap with the missing plural form of a list word. So quite often when we want a plural form, we're adding S or ES unless it's an irregular noun. When we toured the country, we found that there were something in every town. Booth is an easy one. If you can hear it, the plural form of booth would be booths. So here you're just adding that S. You can work out the rest of those within your group or on your own if you're feeling very clever. Fill in the gap with the correct verb tense of a list word. So here you could be adding an S, an ing, an ed, or leaving the word as it is. Tom something, a seat near the back of the bus. Now some of these verbs are irregular, meaning that we're not always adding ed to the end of the word, and this one here is one of those, so you're going to have to be tricky when you choose your word to put in there. Select the correct word. Now because choose is a bit tricky for people, we've put in it in its different form. So we've got chose, choose, chooses, chosen, choice, choosing. So you're going to have to work out which one to write in each of these sentences here, and maybe discuss it within your group so that you know that everyone's got it right. This is level in list 8, day 4, and we're looking at sayings and parts of speech. So what do the following sayings mean? You might need to discuss these within your group. So follow one's nose means to follow your intuition or do what you know is right. You can work out the rest of those on your own. The last one you might have heard, it's living on borrowed time. That means if you're doing something wrong, you better change quickly because you're going to be in trouble very soon. Okay, down here you have to tick the nouns and circle the verbs and cross the words which could be a noun or a verb. So a noun is a name of a person, place, thing or idea. A verb is a word that indicates something we could do, and some of them are going to be green for if they're a noun or a verb. So you can decide if you're going to tick them or colour them, circle them or colour them, cross them or colour them. Okay, I'm using red for the nouns, so I know that trousers are a noun. That's a thing, something we can wear. I'm looking for a verb now. I'm going to use my blue, and drew is past tense of draw, so it's a verb. And then a word that could be both a noun and a verb could be case, as in a case in which you put things inside, or case to check out something. So you might say he is casing the bank before he robs it, or he cased the bank before he robbed it, or he cases lots of banks before he robs them, something like that. So you've got some words which will be a noun and a verb, some just a noun and some just a verb. Okay, down the bottom here we're going to colour the words with short vowels blue, long vowels red, and any words that have both long and short vowel sounds green. So your short vowel sounds are a, e, I, o, And your long vowel sounds are A, E, I, O, U. So when a letter says its name, it makes a long sound, and when you say it, it actually goes for a long time. So if you say the vowels A, E, I, O, U, or A, E, I, O, A, you'll notice that no part of your mouth touches another part of your mouth. That's what makes a vowel. So, but when you say consonants, you have at least one part of your mouth touching another part of your mouth. So vowels are very, very important to help us mouth words. If we just had consonants, we couldn't mouth words. So we have to have vowels in every part of a word so we can actually say the word. So let's have a look at what we've got down here, if they're long or short vowels or a combination. So let's find a short vowel word first. Ik. At is a short vowel sound, and it is a short vowel sound, so I can make that word blue. Now I'm going to find a word with just long vowel sounds in it. Okay, let's try the next word, rooster. Oo is a long vowel sound, and any vowel with an R is an R-controlled vowel, and all R-controlled vowels are considered long vowel sounds because they go for a long time when you say them. So we've got rooster would be a long vowel that has two long vowel sounds in it, and then we've got both long and short vowel sounds. We need the green for that one. Let's find the word. Oh, next word is it. It is a short vowel sound, and O, pillow. O is a long vowel sound, so that pillow has both a short and a long vowel sound in it. So you could finish off the rest of those on your own. You may need to discuss them with your group, with your other group members. Now down the bottom we have to write 3 adjectives for the following nouns. So 3 words to describe an umpire, 3 words to describe a jewel, and 3 words to describe a lolly. So let's see what we could say perhaps for an umpire. You might use words like fair or unfair. You could use impartial, reasonable, vigilant, any other words that you can think of. So you've got to find 3 words for each of those nouns and write them in. Off you go.